Hi, my name is Dylan and I'm a maintainer on the VDK project. Today I'll tell you a little bit about VDK Operations UI. It's a web application that you can run locally or deploy to your environment. It connects to any VDK server that you pointed to, and you can use it to monitor your data jobs that exist on that environment, or you can also use it to monitor and debug and track the performance of jobs that you're currently doing development for. As always, you can read more about this in our VEP, and I will link to it in the description. So we have a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Okay, first of all, I want to stress that this is very much work in progress. So we plan to make it a part of Quick Start VDK, but that's currently not the case. And there are a lot of pieces missing from it, but we decided to open source this anyway and get feedback from the community so we know the correct direction to head in. And of course, we want to make this a part of Quick Start VDK and have one click, one command experience for anyone who would like to use it. But as of now, you have to build and run it using existing CI scripts. All right, as you can see, I have this already running in my terminal, and you can go to localhost and actually see what it looks like. So first of all, I'll give you a brief tour. This has essentially two views or two main pages, let's call them. Has the home page and it has a data jobs page, and I will explain the difference between these two in a little bit. So the home page, it has four widgets that are pretty useful. This one shows you the job execution success rate. This is very useful for general health monitoring, and you can come here and actually see the health rate or the success rate of your jobs at a glance and immediately detect any problems. This is determined by data for the last 14 days. Uh, of course, you can also look at the other widgets, which show you the jobs with failing executions for the last 24 hours and the exact failing executions in the last 24 hours. And from here, as well from here, which this widget gives you um, just a brief overview of all the jobs with links to them, etc. So just from this home page, you can immediately detect if there are any problems and then go and look at the specific problem, which is quite useful. Of course, we'll get into these in just a little bit. Okay, so the other page is essentially the data jobs page, which gives you a more detailed view of all the jobs. So remember, we saw this little widget here. This is kind of an extended version of it. And yeah, you can see a bunch of details about your jobs. You can see the job name, description, deployment status, etc. You can, of course, filter by some of these columns. You can order by them, if it will let me order. Okay. And yeah, you can also add more columns, but as you can see, I've added all the columns, so it's not exactly a problem. And of course, you have this kind of powerful search box here, which I think it can actually search by multiple parameters. Yeah, there we go. So you can search by description, you have quick filters. It makes it very easy for you to find the exact job that you need and either troubleshoot or view details for it. So apart from that, you can of course view the source for the specific job, and you can view logs for it. For some reason, this instance does not retain logs, which is a bit strange, but they're supposed to be in here. So, of course, you can go and navigate to the jobs details page. And over here, you get a really nice overview um, of the job. So you get the last 5 executions plus their status. If there are any future executions scheduled, you'll also see them here. You get data about notifications for specific events. So if you're getting notified for an event, your email will probably show up here. Of course, you get all the data, and you get to do specific actions, which you can delete the job, you can execute it, and of course you have all these quick actions here. Yeah, you can also enable, disable, and execute jobs from this data jobs table, but you can also do this for individual jobs. So from here you can enable and disable. Here you can execute, delete. And we can, okay, let's pick another job, but we can actually view specific job executions, which is also very nice. So for example, for this ingestion test job, there have been a number of executions, which all of them have been successful. And here you get this nice little pie chart of execution statuses. So for example, if we had fail executions, they would show up here. And you get a nice graph where you get job duration on the y-axis, you get the time on the x-axis. So you can actually monitor if you can actually monitor your job's performance over time. This is remarkably useful. If you're maintaining existing jobs, you can actually see how your job scales over time. For example, if your amount of data changes, if you're doing code changes to your job that increase its complexity, you can actually see um, how this affects your job's performance. Again, for live development, you can also try different things and see how it impacts the job duration. And again, for executions, you get this nice little table where you can sort by different columns, and of course you can filter by some of them. So as you can see, there are no scheduled executions here, for example. Okay, and then for each execution, you get the deployment details, which is also very nice in terms of traceability. For example, if a job fails on a particular execution, you can see how how much resource was allocated to it in Kubernetes, and you have this nice traceability. Obviously, they're all versioned. You can see who deployed the job, what VDK version were they using, etc. Okay, and the last thing, of course, that we need to cover is these two pages and what the difference between them is. So internally for VMware, we have some, of course, like we have user accounts, and some of them have access to specific things, others do not. So this is actually an internal view that we plan to remove. It's the exact same as the other data jobs page I was showing you, but you don't have the ability to execute here. But for the open source version, we'll most likely do away with this and just give you a more straightforward customer experience. All right, so if you have any questions or comments, you can always contact us on Slack. We're also on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and of course, you can join our development mailing list.